outrange the Colossus. So it's just going to be a matter of a little bit of micro from Hrothgar here. You do see one Viking out, so he is getting prepared. You do see the observer is going to see everything. So that observer is going to be worth its weight in gold here. Hrothgar getting a second expansion up. Ender thinking of an attack, but because he does see that force, he is going to just play defense here, I believe. Still no Colossus coming out yet. He has the money for one, but just hasn't started one. There we go, right now. He starts one Colossus. I'm not sure if it's going to be out in time for this attack, though. You see Hrothgar's siege, though, so Ender's seeing everything, actually. So he's going to know right when this attack comes. If Hrothgar attacked now, it'd be ideal, because there is no Colossus out at the moment, but he doesn't know that right now. And a little SCV transfer here. You see Ender's base is not quite saturated yet, but he's mining a lot of gas. He actually has an extra harvester on there. And just one photon cannon, so I'm a little disappointed, just one. He usually goes for 3 or 4, but that's fine. He feels pretty safe, and he should be, because there's no reason really for Hrothgar to be scouting up there right now. I mean, he should be, but it's uncommon when you're thinking about attack to be scouting up in these other corners, so kind of getting a free base out right now. And we do see Ender going for a 3rd base, which to Hrothgar will look like a 2nd base. And we see a male Karak. Awesome. Second Colossus coming out now. And because he did upgrade Thermal Lance immediately, those upgrades are finished. We do see Shield upgrade going on. He's opting for that because he didn't build a Twilight Council to do any of the other upgrades, so he's going to be 1-1-1 upgrades right now, which is pretty good. Going for a 2nd Robo Bay, so he's just going to pump out so many Colossus, and Hrothgar's going to be in trouble if too many of those Colossus get out. We do see only 2 Vikings at the moment. Don't see any production of any more. Hrothgar does have +1 weapons upgrade right now, but I'm working on +1 armor. And we did see a factory going down. Sorry, an armory going down. So I'm not sure what he's going to go for there. Either vehicle weapons or ship weapons. It's actually vehicle plating, so he wants to kind of protect those siege tanks a little bit more. Right now only has 3 out. Let me check. Yeah, 3 siege tanks out. Quite a few Marines and a few Marauders, so pretty strong force. The problem is that this Colossus force is going to be a little bit too strong, I think. We'll see what happens here. It looks like Ender's getting ready. If he's able to get these sentries to get a few force fields down, I think he's going to be able to pick apart Hrothgar's army pretty well here. But we're just going to have to wait and see. You see the first siege tank volley go down. Some free volleys from the siege tanks, so you're actually doing really well against this first line of defense of Ender's. And Ender actually has to pull away. That's a really good defense by Hrothgar. It's going to give some time for him to heal. There's a few units in these dropships, which he should drop. But that's actually a really good victory for Hrothgar there. Got about 2 or 3 free shots on the Ender's forces, and because they're all balled up, they do a lot of splash damage. So just has a few zealots in here. I'm not exactly sure. Sorry, I'll have to get the 3 zealots and then a handful of stalkers and immortal. So right now his army doesn't have too much damage. We do see that Hrothgar's going for a drop here, but Ender sees that. So that observer being super pesky, even though Hrothgar doesn't know about it, Ender's being able to see his every move, and he's going to take advantage and attack these siege tanks that are just undefended right now. And the siege tanks are going to fall too quickly to that. 3 Colossus out now. Still doing quite a fair amount of damage to these stalkers up here, but that's not a good battle for Hrothgar there. Very unfortunate. We do see the counterattack here from Hrothgar. Perfect decision. He's going to drop down and try to kill all these production buildings. And I'm not sure if Ender's going to be able to hold this or not. Might just be a base raid at this point. Do see the Colossus doing too much damage. Hrothgar running away from it rather than trying to take it down, which seemed to be a little bit of a mistake. Got some free hits, but there it goes down. So I'm not sure what Ender's going to be able to do at this point. You see Ender going for a counterattack, takes down Hrothgar's expansion. Just building a 3rd expansion right now, so economically Hrothgar's quite behind because Ender does have 3 bases, but doing good damage on this 1st base where all the production facilities are. Hrothgar's forces is a little bit split up right now. taking a little bit of damage against these 3 stalkers. Ender trying to throw down a photon cannon in time. If he had these forces together, these stalkers wouldn't have done too much damage, but he was able to clean them up. It's just going to be, it looks like a base raid at this point. These Colossus are going to be pretty much impossible for Hrothgar to deal with at this point. These stalkers take down the last Viking. So it looks like just a base raid at this point. Problem being that Ender does have an extra base. So really actually quite close here. Not sure who's going to win. Okay, Ender's supply blocked at this point, so he can't build any more units. I think the full force of his army is down here at attacking Hrothgar's own base, so he's going to have to sacrifice some probes or lose some units, but currently he can't. You see Ender throwing down a couple more photon cannons and 3 warp gates, so he is going to have warp production. Hrothgar at this point, any units that are produced are just going to be killed instantly, so looks like Ender probably going to pull out ahead here. You can see supply that Ender has about double supply, but that's because of all these mining probes here. So last ditch effort here. Hrothgar was able to clean up those photon cannons, but 6 stalkers warping in right now, so that's going to be pretty strong against the remains of Ender's Hrothgar's force here, unfortunately. This probe's going crazy. Okay. And another gateway going down, so Hrothgar just going to be pretty much starved of minerals here, unfortunately. Going to be eliminated. There's no other. He's trying to float away. Trying to float away these orbitals. Sorry, that's just a command. This is an orbital, so he will be able to drop a couple mules. You can see that he's thinking about building 2 bunkers here, but he only has 5 SCVs against 33 probes. And this base, still not scouted by Hrothgar, is pretty much winning Ender the game at this point. Ender still has a really strong force as well, so by the time these bunkers, these barracks are built or anything like that, it's going to be too late. So a really good game. We see they're both going for the same base here, but it looks like Ender won that race. See this SCV does have enough minerals to start construction here, but it's going to be blocked. And it's just a matter of Ender finding the remaining bases here. So a really good game. I figured that Hrothgar's first drop should have done a lot more damage, and I'm not sure why it didn't. I think Ender responded just in time. We did see that Ender did lose a few probes, and I'm not sure if maybe Hrothgar's forces were attacking buildings more than forces or what, but the idea was really good and it should have been pretty effective. You see GG here. He knows he's out of here because he lost that final barracks and production building. But overall, I felt the game was pretty solid. Hrothgar's attack was a perfect decision. Ender was able to respond accordingly and was able to get up a second hidden base. And that pretty much gave him the minerals to build these extra gateways once his first ones were destroyed and produce enough units to defend 2 fronts. So a very good game.